We've looked at apps that give you quick access to cash, others that build your credit, and plenty that help track and manage your money. But Tilt can help you with all of that and quite a bit more. Let's see how it works. I do want to be clear from the start that Tilt was kind enough to sponsor today's video, so this is more of a product showcase than a typical review. But as you've come to expect, I do personally have a Tilt account, and the opinions that I'm about to share, good and bad, are entirely my own. My goal, as always, is to just highlight different products that can better the financial life of different people. So if at any point in the video you do see value in Tilt for your financial situation, then using the first link down in the description would mean so much to me and help support this free content. All right, with that out of the way, the hard to believe reality is that over 100 million Americans struggle to reliably access credit-related products, and that's largely because traditional banks rely heavily on one number: your credit score. But even if you have good credit, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're financially healthy. So Tilt approaches things differently. Instead of only looking at a 3-digit score, which largely measures your relationship with debt, they consider real-time factors like your income, spending behavior, and over 250 other non-traditional signals to determine eligibility. Plus, as you show a pattern of healthy financial decisions, Tilt looks to reward you with offer increases and larger credit lines. Big fan of that approach personally, because plenty of brands will just throw whatever product at you needlessly without truly understanding the level of financial help and guidance you really need. Okay, sounds nice in theory, but what does Tilt actually offer? Well, there are 3 main products that share some similarities, but all work towards that same mission of increasing your access to spending power. Tilt Cash Advance is Tilt's most popular and my personal favorite for the right type of user, and that applies to all of the products that we're going to talk about today. With a Tilt Cash Advance, you can get anywhere from $10 to $400 deposited instantly into your bank account with no credit check required, since again, they're using those other factors that we just talked about rather than just looking at your credit score. And as we've discussed previously on this channel, cash advance products like this often get grouped incorrectly with payday lending services. So again, I just want to reiterate that Tilt Cash Advance is not a payday lending service, and I would never recommend a horrible product like that to anyone. Plus, unlike other cash advance apps, there are no late fees, no interest, and most notably, no tipping, making this perhaps the cleanest option if you need to handle an unexpected bill or tie yourself over to that next paycheck. Now, I love that they don't have the whole tipping thing, because I have found that to be a bit confusing for some users with similar products, but it is important for me to mention that if you want instant access to those cash advance funds, there is a fee of $1 to $8 for withdrawals up to $299, and beyond that, it's a 3% fee up to that $400 maximum withdrawal amount. Alternatively, there is no fee if you choose the standard delivery fee, and those funds are generally delivered into an account of your choosing in 1 business day. Obviously not ideal, but a standard delivery takes 1 business day and has no fee, so my recommendation is to always try to look ahead as much as you can so that you can avoid getting yourself in a situation where you need access to that money immediately and just use the standard free delivery instead. Tilt anticipates when your next paycheck date is thanks to your linked bank accounts and will line up your repayment date of that cash advance with that date. And Tilt is only going to give you amounts that they know you can pay back based on your income and expenses, so no interest, late fees, or unreasonable payments here. All right, we'll come back to the advantages and disadvantages of each product in a second, but Tilt also provides access to 3 Visa credit cards: the Essentials card, the Motion card, and the Engage card, all of which are brand new products. If you've seen any of my videos over on the Daily Drop channel, then you know that I'm a big fan of mainstream rewards cards when they are used responsibly. But just like all of the other products that Tilt offers, the goal of these cards is to teach you how to use products like this responsibly. They each offer different rewards in different categories, including cashback on eligible purchases, which is certainly nice, but my favorite feature is the early path to limit increases. Essentially, if you can complete their Leap challenge, where for 6 consecutive billing cycles, you make either the minimum payment or pay 15% of your monthly statement balance, whichever is larger, then you will qualify for a credit limit increase. This is yet another example of how Tilt looks at your healthy financial habits and behavior to make their decision rather than just your credit score. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking right now, only making the minimum payment doesn't seem financially healthy. And you're right, in a perfect world, we would all be paying off all of our debts on time in full. And of course, that is what I would recommend if you can do so. And if that's the case, I love that for you. But if you're just trying to get that financial foundation and start taking steps in the right direction, whether that be rebuilding your credit or building it from scratch, then yes, consistently making even just the minimum payments might be better than poor financial habits that you may have established in the past. So this approach, where your credit limit can be gradually increased as you show healthy financial behavior, is one that I haven't really seen before and something that I am personally a huge fan of. My favorite of the 3 cards is the Essentials card, since it offers you those perks plus 3% cash back on gas and groceries when you have auto pay turned on, which is another thing I always recommend as it incentivizes healthy financial behavior. Okay, the last major product is Tilt's flexible line of credit. You'll start with $200 to $400 that you can easily draw and repay as needed, with the ability to grow that limit up to $1,000 by making on-time payments. The line of credit is also reported to the credit bureaus, which can help build positive payment history with your on-time payments. And like all of the other products that we've already discussed, all credit scores are welcome for line of credit, and if you repay your borrowed amount on your next paycheck date, then there is no interest. And like I said, you'll also get the chance for higher limits as you pay on time. Now, with line of credit, you do have the option to repay in 2 or 4 installment amounts, but again, I say, unless you really find yourself in a pinch, just pay off the full amount as soon as your next paycheck hits, because the interest rates on these installment payments are pretty high. I know I sound like a broken record at this point, but again, I remind you that the goal of all of this is to better your financial future, not get stuck in that loop of borrowing more than you can realistically pay back. Though a line of credit is relatively simple, I'd say give cash advance a shot first, and then if you find that you need a higher limit, you could always look into this as well. So those are each 3 unique products on their own, combined under one platform. But what makes Tilt stand out even more is that they're not just giving you access to money, they're also giving you tools to help manage it responsibly, including credit score monitoring with personalized tips to boost your score, automatic savings that adjust based on what you can actually afford, and budgeting tools with customizable limits and spending breakdowns, all of which are going to help you take those steps towards a better financial future. So this isn't just about getting access to cash or credit, it's about staying on track and building long-term healthy financial habits. Lastly, before we get to who this platform is best for, it's important to note that access to the app does cost $8 per month after a 14-day free trial. Although I will note that access to Tilt's credit card applications and usage does not require this subscription. Now, I know that we would all love great products like this to be completely free, but I do encourage you to look at the interest and late fees that you may have paid on other consumer financial products over the past year, because considering the average American carries a balance of $6,000 on those products, even at a more conservative 20% interest rate, that still shakes out to $100 per month, more than a full year of a Tilt subscription. So comparatively, if you find yourself in a financial situation where Tilt can help you, then $8 is a small price to pay, not to mention that even a slight improvement in your credit score can help lower your interest rate when you borrow money on something like a house, for example, which could save you tens of thousands of dollars over the life of that loan. So that leaves us with the most important question: who is Tilt best for? Because I'll tell you right now that it isn't for everyone. If you're someone that's building or rebuilding your credit, or someone earning steadily and managing expenses responsibly, such as a gig worker with variable income, and you want a system that understands your real-time finances, or if you've been denied by traditional banks and need a fair shot at building credit responsibly, then Tilt is a fantastic option that combines all of the tools you could need into one app. Tilt simply sees things that traditional lenders just don't care to look at, and their offerings allow them to meet you wherever you're at in your financial journey. Now, obviously, if you already have established credit, you're sitting on a really healthy emergency fund, or just have established financial habits that work for you, then no, you're not gonna get as much benefit out of Tilt. But if you find yourself in any of those situations that I mentioned, then Tilt isn't just another finance app, it's a fair credit ecosystem designed to help move you forward. So if you wanna learn more, then be sure to check out that first link down in the description. And again, huge thank you to Tilt for sponsoring today's video and building a product that I think can help a lot of people better their financial future. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.